Today's news highlights 20250922. Date September 22, 2025. Republic of China September 22, 114. Time cutoff point, 1500 hours on the same day. Source, Internet, major news media and channels, official accounts, app data. The channel content is only concise news content and does not have any perception or emotion. News highlights: when 77-year-old Hong Kong singer Lin Zixiang and his wife Ye Qunwen were promoting a concert, it was revealed that they did not like to drink water and urinate less, which attracted attention. Doctors remind that dehydration can lead to metabolism, immunity, and kidney function decline, and the elderly are more prone to hidden dehydration. It is recommended to replenish water at any time, drink 30-40 ml of water per kilogram of body weight per day, and judge whether it is sufficient based on urine color and urination frequency. News highlights: the main components of honey are fructose and glucose, which have a low to medium GI, about 52-62, which will raise blood sugar and have no hypoglycemic effect. It is recommended that the average person should not exceed 25 grams per day, and diabetics should further have it. Honey can be used as a fast-acting carbohydrate source for first-aid hypoglycemia, but it should not be relied on in excess and long term. News highlights: U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order raising the H-1B visa application fee to $10, aiming to discourage foreign workers from replacing Americans and encourage companies to hire local graduates. The new system is limited to new applicants, and existing visas will not be affected, with the biggest impact on Indian and Chinese talents. Taiwan and TSMC have limited impact because they mostly use L1 visas. Trump also launched the Gold Card program, allowing wealthy people to invest high amounts in exchange for U.S. residency. News highlights: the CCP announced that the youth unemployment rate reached 18.9% in August, a new high since the revised statistical caliber. Experts pointed out that the actual situation may be more severe, and a large number of flexible employment and discouraged job seekers are not counted. The graduation wave in 2025 is superimposed on the weak economy, the confidence of private enterprises is low, and foreign capital is withdrawn, making youth employment a structural problem. Without effective policies, it may fall into a vicious circle of insufficient domestic demand, unemployment, contraction of domestic demand, and exacerbate social division and turmoil. News highlights: American conservative youth leader Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10 at the age of 31. A memorial service was held in Arizona on the 21st, which is estimated to attract more than 30 people to participate. President Trump personally delivered a speech, praising him as a beacon of young conservatives and announcing that he would be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Widow Erica emphasized that the answer to hatred is not hatred and publicly forgave the murderer. A number of dignitaries spoke and called for the continuation of Kirk's faith and courage. News highlights: the autumn equinox is around September 23, which is a solar term with half yin and yang and equal division of day and night. At this time, the northern hemisphere has short days and long nights, and the climate is cooler, symbolizing the transition of all things from prosperity to harvest. The ancients attached great importance to the autumn equinox, not only to worship the moon and the sky, but also to correct weights and measures, which means fairness and justice. Traditional Chinese medicine emphasizes nourishment, which is advisable to calm the mind, moisturize dryness, and nourish yin, go to bed early and get up early, and use gentle exercise to nourish the body and mind. The autumn equinox enlightens people to conform to nature, uphold justice, and cultivate themselves and maintain their health to achieve harmony between heaven and earth and people. News highlights: the shelf life of seasonings varies greatly after opening, and the bottle label only applies to unopened conditions. After opening, it is susceptible to bacterial contamination and should be consumed as soon as possible and stored in a refrigerated or cool place depending on the type. American Food Keeper recommends soy sauce refrigerated for 1 month, oyster sauce for 3-6 months, vinegar for 18 months, ketchup for 6 months, etc. It is recommended to mark the opening date to avoid waste and spoilage. News highlights: after menopause, women are prone to osteoporosis due to hormone deficiency, and the initial symptoms include back pain, joint discomfort, and severe hunchback, height loss. Traditional Chinese medicine is called bone atrophy, emphasizing that kidney qi and colloids are more important than calcium supplementation alone. Daily intake of foods rich in calcium, vitamin D, and phytoestrogens, combined with weight-bearing exercises such as walking, jogging, and lifting dumbbells, can maintain bone health. News highlights: although the executive yuan has relaxed the restrictions on new Qing and mortgages, the central bank still strictly controls the concentration of real estate, making the housing market tight. The loan restriction order lasted for a year, and most mortgages were still blocked, with small and medium-sized builders and retail investors suffering the most. Once the ban is lifted, the rebound in buying sentiment may push up housing prices again, and the policy effect is limited. News highlights: the global semiconductor AI application competition is fierce, and the legal person predicts that TSMC's major customer ranking in 2026 will be reshuffled. Apple is still the largest customer, with a rapid increase in revenue contribution, and is expected to invest more than 1 trillion yuan next year. Due to the rapid rise of cooperation with OpenAI, Broadcom will jump from 6th to top 3, squeezing into the ranks of major customers, and the revenue contribution of customers such as Nvidia and Intel will also continue to grow. News highlights: Nvidia reported that the incubation of the self-driving taxi project Robotaxi will use Nvidia Drive AGX Thor as the core, using end-to-end neural network technology and sensors and lenses as key components. Taiwanese factories benefit from the formation of image sensors and optical communications, and 6/GaN layout, while the latter's automotive lens technology is expected to be included in Nvidia's supply chain. News highlights: according to the news of price increases in the memory market, Samsung plans to raise the contract price of some DRAM by 15% to 30% in the fourth quarter, and NAND flash by 5% to 10%. TrendForce pointed out that AI and data center demand has pushed up the supply-demand gap. DRAM and NAND continue to be in short supply, and prices are bullish in the fourth quarter. News highlights: Liking said that the government continues to promote tax cuts, and when declaring this year's income tax next year, single renters with an annual income of less than 62 yuan can be exempt from paying tax. Couples with double income renting houses are tax-free for less than 107.2 yuan. Families with 2 preschool children with annual income of less than 164.1 yuan are also tax-free, so as to improve employment and living security. News highlights: due to the sharp increase in fraud cases, the High Court received about 600 cases per month, and the judges were overloaded, so they decided to suspend the division of fraud cases for 4 months from September and set up a criminal review tribunal to conduct procedural review. The review tribunal may dismiss cases that do not meet the requirements of appeal and arrange mediation to assist victims in recovering losses, reducing the burden on back-end judges. However, during the waiting period, the case will still be subject to interest, and the parties will still have to pay relevant fees. News highlights: Chen Qiu, the former chairman of Taiwan Salt, was accused of hollowing out Taiwan Salt and its subsidiary Taiyuan Green Energy. The 400 million yuan case is under trial by the Tainan District Court. The prosecution found clues about the flow of money from the mobile phone of CO defendant Guo Yuding, as well as illegal acts such as leaking the president's itinerary and Taiwan Salt investigation data by former secret agent CAO Zheng Zi of the National Security Bureau and investigator Lin Jiakai. Guo Yuding's mobile phone has become the key to the investigation, and the prosecution is investigating a number of extra cases according to clues, exposing the huge network of corruption and leaks involved in the case. News highlights: the 2025 Asian Baseball Championship will be held in Pingtan, Fujian, China, from September 22 to 28, with 8 teams divided into Groups A and B, with Taiwan, South Korea, Hong Kong, and Palestine in Group B, with the top 2 advancing to the Super Round and competing for gold and bronze medals. The game was broadcast by China TV and Walai, and the network was broadcast live on Walai Sports Channel's YouTube. News highlights: affected by geopolitics and tariffs, it is rumored that the industrial boom is sluggish, but Taiwan's AI industry is strong and has become a market savior, not only supporting the stock market, but also driving the activity of industrial and commercial real estate transactions. Especially Darwin is the most favored by AI companies. News highlights: more than 7 months after the death of artist DS, her husband Gu Junyi still often goes to the Jinbeisan Rose Garden to accompany him, bringing photos, snacks and candles to worship, and paints and designs a commemorative statue of DS in front of the tomb. News highlights: strong typhoon Burj Gaza hit, and some counties and cities have suspended classes, but some people on the internet fraudulently used Tainan Mayor Huang Weij's profile picture to spread fake information, and the city government clarified the falsehood and sent it to the police for investigation. Netizens later deleted the article to apologize, reminding the public not to spread typhoon rumors to avoid violating the law. News highlights: after Sui Tang, who was born as a model, moved into a mansion in Daji in Taipei in 2022, controversies broke out one after another, first because of the child's noisy conflict with neighbors, and recently he was recovered by the management committee for more than 11 yuan in management fees, and applied to the court for an order to pay, setting off a topic. News highlights: the storm circle will touch Orchid Island, Hengchun, Taitung, and Jiaoping areas from this morning, 22nd, and the most severe impact will continue until Wednesday. The Central Meteorological Administration predicts that the wind force in some areas of Taiwan's 10 counties and cities has reached the standard for suspending classes, reminding the public to pay attention to safety and abide by typhoon prevention measures. News highlights: internet celebrity Ryu has been dating a Chinese female painter for less than a month, and on the evening of the 21st, the female painter suddenly announced her breakup on Threads, without explaining the reason, causing shock and discussion among netizens. News highlights: the storm circle will touch the Hengchun Peninsula and affect Taitung, Jiaoping, and the southern coastal areas during the day today. News highlights: the 2025 Asian Rowing Championships will be held on October 16, but Li Guangyi, the double gold medalist of the National Games, was removed from the Asian Championships list, causing controversy over fairness. The sports department expressed respect for the right to select coaches and will promote communication between the association and athletes to improve the selection system. News highlights: President Lai Ching-te announced at the Saiyu Palace in Mili that he will promote major tax reforms next year, and people with an annual salary of less than 62.6 yuan will be exempt from paying income tax, benefiting about 4 to 50% of the Chinese people. High-income groups will bear more taxes. The policy takes into account education, childcare, and long-term care, and implements taking from the society and using it for the society. He emphasized that next year will be the year with the lightest tax burden in Taiwan. News highlights: after K. Wen's posted bail, it was reported that he was suspected of being infected with HPV during his detention, and his wife Chen Pike expressed dissatisfaction. Obstetrician and gynecologist Su Yining clarified that there are more than 130 types of HPV, most of which are not transmitted through public toilets, and there are almost no cases of infection in the toilet clinically. The real risk mostly comes from sexual contact or sharing personal belongings, and it is recommended to get the HPV 9-valent vaccine and maintain good hygiene habits. News highlights: the Taipei city government announced that the Twin Cities Forum originally scheduled to be held in September will be postponed, emphasizing that it is better to do it sooner than to do it well and that more time is needed to improve details and communication. The city government stated that the Twin Cities Forum is an important cross-strait exchange platform and will be promoted in accordance with the principles of reciprocity, dignity, goodwill, and reciprocity to ensure that the forum can accumulate mutual trust and bring substantial results. News highlights: on the evening of the 20th, a foul smell came from the Wuling viewing platform in Hehuan Mountain, and the public found that someone had abandoned a dog corpse in a cardboard box in the parking lot, causing public outrage. The Taraco National Park Management Office severely condemned it, emphasizing that this move pollutes the environment and may bring epidemics. News highlights: on the evening of September 18th, a master's student from National Taiwan University collided with a man surnamed Ma at a convenience store next to the Don MRT station, and was slammed on the head with a 3-section whip, causing blood to flow all over the ground. The injured person was sent to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the police quickly arrested the 56-year-old martial arts coach Ma Nan involved in the case and seized the murder weapon. The prosecution's claim was rejected by the court, and it was ruled that 20 yuan should be posted on bail. News highlights: she responded that her home had been affected by water leakage in the community for many years, and she paid nearly 50 yuan for repairs but was neglected by the management committee, so she offset the management fee in accordance with regulations and counter-controlled the management committee to distort the facts. She emphasized that she was fighting for the basic rights and interests of residents, and announced that she would donate 100 yuan to pay attention to the disadvantaged, hoping that the incident would return to public issues. News highlights: Zhang Hui's comeback to hold a concert attracted attention. Singer Yang Zhet, who created her classic song Love Words and Dreams, said in a recent interview that this song has been sung for more than 20 years and continues to bring royalty income to this day. He also recalled the interesting story of his relationship with Zhang Hui because of the song, which became an unforgettable memory. News highlights: since February 2025, China has listed tungsten as a controlled product to counter U.S. tariffs and strictly approved exports, resulting in a shortage of tungsten supply and prices soaring by more than 70% in half a year. Tungsten is a key material in aerospace, automotive, semiconductor, medical and other industries, and unstable supply will impact the manufacturing chain. Taiwanese manufacturer Lianyu Metal, 7610, relies on the recycling of waste tools and alloy recycled tungsten materials, which has cost advantages and obtained ESG certification, becoming a supplier to major manufacturers such as Apple, Tesla, and TSMC. News highlights: a rare 4-on-1 workplace bullying case broke out at the primary school attached to Chi University, where 4 senior teachers continued to collectively bully the personnel director by humiliating, making things difficult, and malicious complaints for 3 years, and even insulted them on Facebook, causing them serious psychological pressure. The school investigated and determined that it was deliberate bullying and established a case, and the person concerned has reported the case, hoping to regain a fair and safe working environment. News highlights: the Central Meteorological Administration forecasted at 10 o'clock on the 22nd that the wind and rain in 9 counties and cities, including Dawan, Hsinchu, Mieli, Pingtung, Hualien, Taitung, Lianzhong, and Kinmen, reached the standard for suspending classes in the early morning of tomorrow, 23rd. The typhoon affects coastal and mountainous areas, and whether to suspend classes in each county and city is decided by the local government based on wind and rain, traffic, and power supply conditions. News highlights: knees-making sounds such as clicking, popping, or rustling may be normal physiological phenomena and may also indicate joint degeneration or damage. If accompanied by pain, limited mobility, or stiffness, special attention should be taken. Daily maintenance recommendations include controlling weight, adjusting posture, wearing supportive shoes, massaging the muscles around the knee, alternating hot and cold compresses, and using knee pads if necessary. In addition, low-impact exercises such as leg muscle training, water walking, and static yoga can strengthen muscles, maintain joint flexibility, and delay knee joint degeneration. News highlights: during the strong typhoon Burj Gaza, some people impersonated Tainan Mayor Huang Weijie to post rumors of suspension of work and classes, and later deleted the article to apologize and close the account. Huang Weijie reminded that spreading false information about disasters can be punished with fines or criminal liability, and the Municipal Criminal University has intervened in the investigation and called on the public to act according to the official announcement. News highlights. Foreign Minister Lin Qialong pointed out in the U.S. media during the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly that Taiwan has made outstanding contributions to global development, but it has been excluded from international organizations because of China's distortion of United Nations Resolution 2758. He called on the international community to recognize Taiwan, emphasizing that now is a good time to integrate into the United Nations system and achieve leaving no one behind. News highlights. Strong typhoon Burj Gaza is approaching Taiwan, and Pingtung, Hualien, Taitung and other places have reached the standard for suspending classes. The typhoon wind circle will touch the southeast tonight, and the rainfall in Huadong and Hengchun mountainous areas can reach 500–800 mm, accompanied by strong gusts, and the rain will gradually ease until tomorrow, 23rd, during the day. News highlights. President Lai Ching-te attended the National Monuments Day open visit event on the 21st, distributing snacks and interacting with the public. A man called him Principal Lyle in person and took a video to upload it, which sparked heated discussions on the internet. The video exceeded 97 views in a short period of time, and netizens commented polarly. Some criticized the behavior for being rude, and some praised democracy and freedom. News highlights. Legislator Wang Yushuan pointed out that due to traffic violations exposed by Su Kioxin, he suspected that he had been followed for a long time. He questioned that the photos were not provided by the public, and pointed out that Huang Qiaoqing was related to the truth-seeking poll, which attracted attention. News highlights. The Kuomintang presidential election will be held on October 18, and Hao Longbin went south to Taichung on the 21st to taste Kaifeng rice cakes at the same table with Liu Xiaoyan for the first mukbang interaction. Liu Xiaoyan laughed and said that Hao's two firsts were dedicated to her, and called on the party to hold elections in a harmonious atmosphere and elect the most suitable leader. News highlights. 56-year-old Lu Nan and 57-year-old Cao Nu were suspected of failing in business and owing more than 200 yuan in loan sharks, and were unable to repay their debts for a long time, so they finally chose to commit suicide by going to the Iron Tower. The police have blocked the scene to collect evidence and pursued the relevant responsibilities of the underground bank for the crime of heavy profit. News highlights. Taiwanese diva Zhang Hui announced her return to the music scene, and the concerts were sold out, setting off a new wave of golden song craze. Yang Zhe, the composer of Love Words and Dreams, revealed that although the royalties of this classic song that has been popular for 20 years were not high in the early days, it still has stable passive income, and he also shared an interesting story about his first rehearsal with Zhang Hui, which sparked discussion among fans. News highlights. Chinese actor Yu Hao fell to his death from a building in Beijing on the 11th, and the official tone was set as accidentally falling from the building after drinking, ruling out a criminal case, but online rumors were spreading. Beijing Chaoyang Public Security and CCTV issued a notice on the 21st to investigate and deal with a number of rumor-mongering incidents in accordance with the law, including 3 people who spread false information were taken compulsory measures, and called on the outside world to respect privacy and not spread rumors. News highlights. Former People's Party chairman Kei Wenz needs to wear electronic monitoring after posting bail, and his wife Chen Pike complained that the monitoring center called many times in the early morning to check his whereabouts, causing Kei's sleep to be interrupted and his body weak. News highlights. The investigation report of the supervisory yuan revealed that the Academy of Xiku had long-term sexual assault and institutional cover-up. Since 2002, teacher Li Yanjun has used his power to sexually assault students, and the victim has been verbally and physically bullied, and the school has repeatedly covered up and failed to handle it properly. Former Chief Secretary Wang Suiyan was also involved in sexual harassment. It was not until the Me Too movement broke out in 2023 that the incident was revealed, reflecting the college's closed power structure and failure of supervision, and students suffering from sexual harassment for a long time. News highlights. Jingmei and Shilin night markets in Taipei City have recently broken out one after another. According to the investigation, the gang collected cleaning fees or management fees from stall vendors by establishing an autonomous organization, with the intention of competing for city government subsidies and entangled with some political and business forces. The slow progress of the police investigation has triggered a warning to foreign forces in the corner, which may lead to more serious security conflicts. News highlights. An accident occurred on Jinghua Road in Hsinchu City in the early hours of yesterday morning from a passenger car into the construction site, killing 4 teenagers and surviving one 15-year-old boy surnamed Xiet. Xianan is a wanted suspect in the injury case, and after the accident, he abandoned his friend and fled, transferred to a white plate car and returned home, and left a video of the incident on IG. The police will investigate crimes such as manslaughter and public danger, and investigate the true identity of the driver. News highlights. Kuomintang legislator Su Kioxin's aunt Lu Xiangja and her husband Du Bingcheng were involved in money laundering and were sentenced to 10 years and 15 years respectively in the first instance. During the second trial, Du Bingcheng accused Su Kioxin of telling me to plead guilty, and recently in the Taipei detention center, he was emotionally unstable, repeatedly self-harmed, and refused to take medicine. News highlights. The typhoon center is about 400 kilometers southeast of Luanbi, with a maximum wind speed of 58 meters per second, and the storm circle has entered the southeastern coast. Pingtung Hongchun, Taitung Green Island, Orchid Island, and other places have suspended work and classes, and the wind and rain will be the most severe during the day from tonight to tomorrow. News highlights: Chen Handian and Lulu have been in love for a year, and recently announced the good news of their marriage, shocking the entertainment industry. The two appeared at Taipei 101 before marriage to change the size of their rings, and also publicly appeared to watch the wedding venue and video recordings, showing sweet interactions and receiving blessings from relatives, friends, and circles. News highlights: the Yonghe police station received a ridiculous report. A man called 110 claiming that his genitals were missing and asked the police to assist in searching. News highlights: the strong typhoon Birch Gaza hit Taiwan. The center is located in the southeast of Luanbi, and will move northwest and westward in the future, and the storm circle will enter the southeastern coastal waters. Taitung, Pingtung, Hongchun Peninsula, and Kaohsiung and other places need to be on high alert. This afternoon, the wind force in 10 counties and cities reached the standard for suspending classes, and heavy rain may occur in the eastern half and southern mountainous areas, and the coastal and sea winds and waves are violent, so the public should pay attention to safety. News highlights: a car accident occurred in Hsinchu City in the early hours of yesterday morning. 5 teenagers rushed into the construction site in a car, causing 4 deaths and 1 injury, and the only surviving 15-year-old teenager surnamed Xie fled by car after the incident and has been brought back by the police for investigation. The video of 4 people playing in the car before the incident was exposed, and the police are clarifying the real driving and the cause of the accident, and the whole case is being investigated as manslaughter. News highlights: the Naha City Public Health Center in Okinawa, Japan, issued an alert for the first time on September 18 for erythema infectiosum, apple disease, due to the recent increase in cases in children. This disease is caused by the B19 virus, and the symptoms are red rash on the cheeks and reticular rash on the hands and feet, most of which heal on their own, but infection in pregnant women may affect the fetus. The virus is mainly transmitted through droplet contact, so it is recommended to wash hands frequently and wear masks, and pregnant women should avoid contact with suspected patients. News highlights: the well-known illustrator Sweet Secrets was broken into by a thief at home, and the thief not only slept and plugged in mosquito coils, but also stole her boyfriend's underwear, washed and dried clothes, and even blocked the toilet. The police arrested the suspect, but she may be released soon, causing her to worry about her personal safety and sparking heated discussions among netizens. News highlights: 61-year-old singer Shishiro released a new album Southern Love, looking back on his career and losing $4 million due to signing, but he bought 3 houses with the popularity of his first album. Once popular in the mainland, clean and self-loving, not indulging in women, currently single, healthy and stable, only removed colorectal polyps to avoid cancer. News highlights: Lulu, Huang Luzian, and Chen Handian announced the good news of their marriage on the 11th of this month. Chen Handian shared the happy details of the marriage proposal, and Lulu challenged the role of a singer for the first time and joking with Taiwan, wearing a golden costume to perform Lu Zaxian, calling it a life dream plan, and fans praised her for being full of fairy spirit. News highlights: internet beauty Enzier was on a yacht in Taitung 4 years ago when a huge wave capsized, and her legs were injured by propellers, leaving permanent scars, affecting the filming work. Although the court awarded the captain 208 yuan in compensation, because the other party had no property and was not compensated, she called on the boatman to confirm the legality of the water play activities and remain calm to protect himself. News highlights: Gao Huihun has been suffering from thyroid disorders and high cholesterol for a long time, and after starting dual filtration plasmapheresis therapy and diet control this year, her blood test index has improved significantly, and her body weight and triglycerides have returned to the normal range. News highlights: the world premiere of the 30th Busan Film Festival was held, and Su Guanghan's new work Her Day in His Year was unveiled. Su Guanghan said that he is most similar to the character Potato in the film, and humorously mentioned that he prefers roles with fewer lines in overseas works, and the interaction between the two was enthusiastic, triggering enthusiastic responses from fans. News highlights: artist Sui Tang and her husband Tony have 3 children after marriage, and after moving into a mansion in Daji, Taipei, the neighbors downstairs complained that the children were playing late at night, and the 2 sides went to court. Recently, due to the arrears of management fees of 113,967 yuan, the management committee applied for a payment order, but the court rejected the claim due to flaws in the service procedure, and Sui Tang once again caused the evil neighbor controversy. News highlights: mainland actor Yu Hao accidentally fell to his death on the 11th at the age of 37. The mother said it was a drinking accident, and the police investigated and ruled out a criminal case and explained it to the family. The Chaoyang Public Security Bureau also filed a case for investigation and punishment of those who spread rumors such as swallowing USB to death on the internet, and has arrested a number of rumor-mongers in accordance with the law, calling for respect for privacy and avoiding secondary harm. News highlights: Yang Zi's secret to losing 9 kilograms in 15 days is revealed. She eats high-protein meals with vegetables, climbs stairs on an empty stomach to burn fat, runs for 1 hour a day to maintain her posture, and occasionally challenges the liquid breaking method to speed up detoxification with liquid meals. Healthy eating and exercise combined to transform her from a round child star in Family with Children to a slender goddess. News highlights the immersive entertainment Flashing Grid is created by the Light Dome game team that once indebted tens of millions, combining grid-stepping games, LED sensor floor tiles and self-developed game engines to provide dynamic difficulty, data management, and quarterly content updates. Through the rapid expansion of B2C and corporate charter models, the Taiwan market has successfully entered Japan and the United States, becoming a model of new types of immersive entertainment. News highlights Google announced on September 18 that it will deeply integrate the AI model Gemini into the Chrome browser, and the desktop version in the United States has been launched. Gemini can integrate information across tabs, summarize web content, support proxy-based automated operations and AI search in the future, and combine with Google applications to simultaneously strengthen fraud prevention, permission management, and password security, improve the browsing experience and respond to AI browser competition. News highlights the 4 zodiac signs with stable financial luck and the richer you get include the ox, 01:0003:00 at the time of the ox, the snake, 09:0011:00 at the time of the snake, the pig, 21:0023:00 at the time of the pig, and another zodiac sign. They are hardworking, smart, or kind by nature, know how to accumulate strength and seize opportunities, with an auspicious birth time, a solid treasury, and a worry-free old age. News highlights this week's horoscope. Mars entering Scorpio brings busyness and opportunities to become popular. Pay attention to temper and safety. The Sun enters Libra. Solar terms change. Climate changeable. Avoid major decisions before Tuesday. Horoscopes. Aries, Taurus, Virgo, and Libra need to pay attention to career and emotional coordination. Gemini, Lion, Scorpio, and Sagittarius are active in interpersonal relationships, and they need to be cautious in their words and deeds. Cancer, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces all have opportunities for progress in their careers and relationships. News highlights Cai Can has to share financial management tips. She does not rely on bookkeeping, but develops the habit of forced savings, and deposits excess money into a special account when she has extra money, but cannot go in or out. At the same time, change your lifestyle, cook by yourself instead of delivery, and control your consumption desire by calmly waiting and checking existing items, accumulating wealth to buy a house and honor your parents. News highlights the storm circle of Gaza is gradually approaching southeastern Taiwan and is expected to touch land before noon today, with the most obvious impact concentrated today and tomorrow. The Central Meteorological Administration pointed out that the wind or rainfall in 9 counties and cities may reach the standard for suspending classes, but whether to suspend classes is still subject to the announcements of each county and city government. News highlights a major car accident occurred in Hsinchu City in the early morning, and 5 teenagers crashed into the construction site in a car, killing 4 people and injuring 1. A 15-year-old young man surnamed Xie fled the scene injured and was brought back by the police 8 hours later, claiming that the driver was a 17-year-old boy surnamed Guo. Before the incident, the teenager in the car had been frolicking on IG limited time stories, and the cause of the accident is still pending further investigation by the prosecutors. News highlights Li Mingxuan's family fell into decline at a young age, and his family went bankrupt at the age of 30, and his 500 savings evaporated overnight. He is not good at investing, but relying on accurate house search and patient accumulation, he currently holds many properties such as Baidu and Songshan, and the mortgage prompts him to work hard, manage his finances simply and steadily, and value life memories more than value accumulation. News highlights 3 Malaysian police officers are suspected of extorting an 18-year-old female student to pay RM1 or have sexual intercourse during a temporary inspection of a couple in Kuala Lumpur, and even pinched their breasts during the process. After the victim refused, he called the police, and after investigation, the police arrested 3 police officers involved in the case, and the case was investigated for extortion and attempted assault on the chastity of others. News highlights Li King offered incense in Mili on Sunday and delivered a speech, announcing that next year's personal monthly income of less than 5 yuan will be exempt from tax, emphasizing that the tax burden is mainly borne by the top 1% of income. He also mentioned the key points of governance, including national defense independence, economic growth, rising stock markets, declining unemployment rates, and education and social welfare subsidies, with the goal of improving national security and people's quality of life. News highlights the 25th anniversary Thanksgiving Tea Party of the Medical Reform Commission was held on September 21, attended by many political and medical professionals. Minister of Health and Welfare Shi Chongliang said that the medical aesthetic industry will be reformed, prohibiting medical aesthetics after graduation, surgeons must have surgical qualifications, and the information of doctors involved in major accidents will be made public, and subrogation claims for medical expenses for medical aesthetic accidents will be discussed. The Medical Reform Commission promotes medical transparency and patient rights, and in the future, Medical Reform 3.0 will be positioned as engaged participation to encourage the public and medical staff to participate in public decision-making. News highlights Taiwan stocks are looking forward to October market. Three major signals support the bulls. 1. The sharp increase in securities lending led to a short squeeze, and the Air Force made up for strong buying. 2. Interest rate cuts release living water, and investor confidence increases. 3. The appreciation of the new Taiwan dollar attracts foreign capital to make double profits in stocks and foreign exchanges. The short-term stars are still DRAM and silicon carbide groups, while potential stocks are targeted at CPO and PCB groups, including Jones Day KY, Huaxing Guang, Lianjun, Shangchuan, etc. News highlights K. Wen's health condition was exposed after he was released on bail, and his wife Chen Pike said that he was suspected of being infected with HPV and developed shingles and a severe cold, and his immunity was weakened. Obstetricians and gynecologists point out that the probability of HPV infection in the toilet is extremely low, and the risk of wet and rough floors is high. Chen Pike's public illness caused controversy and was criticized for violating physician ethics. News highlights the third wave of bulk drinking ice products sampled 119 pieces by the Beijing City Health Bureau and found 9 unqualified, including Jianzhong brown sugar shaved ice AIU containing the preservative hexanoic acid and Chilean Ely bubble ice. Strawberry bubbles were detected with salmonella, which has been fined 3 yuan in accordance with the food safety law. News highlights according to the Applyboard Fall Survey, the most popular countries in the world to study abroad in 2025 are the United Kingdom, Canada, the United States, Australia, Germany, and Ireland. The United States slipped to third place, and Canada recovered to second place. Students choose a study abroad country mainly considering tuition fees, employment after graduation, and the cost of living. News highlights Taiwan Cement Corporation, 1101, closed dramatically on Friday, with 2 buy orders of 5.9999 each in the last minute, with a single-day trading volume of 18.85 thousand, a new high in recent years. In terms of chips, investment trusts sold more than 12.3 thousand shares, and foreign investors bought more than 14.4 thousand shares, indicating that chips have been transferred to major shareholders and related foreign investors. Taiwan Cement Corporation has been a member of Taiwan 50 since 2007, but this year it was disqualified due to shareholding adjustments, but after experiencing the challenges of the Chinese market and the twists and turns of the new energy layout, this change of chips may become a new starting point for the company's Jedi restructuring. News highlights China Anti Group has been actively engaged in overseas mergers and acquisitions since 2009, first acquiring the operating rights of Fila in China, and then controlling Amofen Sports for 46 billion euros, including 15 brands including Wilson, Arc'teryx, and Salomon. In 2024, Amofen will be listed in New York with a market value of $6.6 billion. This year, it will acquire Germany's Flying Wolf to expand its international layout and fill the gap in the mid to high-end market. News highlights Taiwanese collaborative robot manufacturer Deming Robot, 4585, will be listed on September 26, with a listing price of 238 yuan, attracting 83.2 people to subscribe, and the lottery winning rate is only 0.39%. Techman has sold 1.8 robotic arms and launched the first AI humanoid robot trademark Explore I, with an opening price of 629 yuan and a potential return of 164%. News highlights the United States plans to skyrocket the H-1B visa application fee to $10 and may change to a salary-based performance-based system, with priority given to high-paid talents. This move is likely to hit Indian technology companies and startups hard, causing legal disputes and concerns about cross-border talent flow. News highlights housing market expert Li Tongrong criticized the central bank's board of directors and supervisors for not loosening the loan restriction policy in September, pointing out that the policy crowded out first-time buyers and house changers, causing contract termination and disputes. News highlights the third wave of sampling of the Beijing City Health Bureau had a total of 119 drinking ice products, and 9 were found to be unqualified, including Yumu Ri, Jianzhong brown sugar shaved ice, Li Ji black tea ice, sugarcane mother, and Ely bubble ice and other well-known stores, which were detected with Enterobacteriaceae or the preservative adipenoic acid. The Health Bureau has requested to be removed from the shelves and fined 3 yuan. News highlights a 26-year-old woman surnamed Li fell from the building and died on the spot, about 20 kilometers away from home. After the police inspected the surveillance camera, external intervention was preliminarily ruled out, and the detailed cause of death was to be clarified by the prosecutor. The family members were grieving and came to the scene to identify the body. News highlights strong Typhoon Gaza touched the land of Hengchun at 11 noon, and may still strengthen slightly in the future. Hualien, Taitung, and Hengchun Peninsula will have the heaviest rain. Orchid Island, Green Island and Taitung will have strong winds, and there will also be strong winds in the northeast, the north coast of Keelung, Penghu, Kinmen, and the coast of Matsu. The public should pay attention to typhoon safety. News highlights the reason for the shortage of manpower was that the owner Zhang Haihong had poor management and had been in arrears of wages and severance pay for a long time, accumulating more than 1 million yuan, and even required a single parent employee to act as a guarantor. A white cloth strip was hung at the entrance of the store to collect debts, but the operator had not responded by the deadline. News highlights according to the latest survey by United Daily News, the Taiwanese people's satisfaction with President Lai Ching-te's handling of cross-strait relations has dropped sharply, with only 26% satisfied and 63% dissatisfied, and more than 90% of Kuomintang and People's Party supporters are dissatisfied. Most people believe that Last Republic of China and the People's Republic of China are not subordinate to each other and cross-strait management policies have had a negative impact. However, 88% of the people still support maintaining cross-strait communication channels, emphasizing that exchanges cannot be interrupted. News highlights Kuomintang chairman candidate Hou Longbin said that if elected, he will adopt the collective leadership model, and set up an advisory committee to invite the heads of the 6 blue camps to provide suggestions, but the final decision is still the responsibility of the party chairman. He emphasized that the operation of party affairs requires cooperation between frontline combat forces and logistics support, and he positions himself as an all-round chairman and attaches importance to execution and coordination. In addition, he admitted that the party central committee spends about 2,000 to 3,000 yuan per month, and funds are tight, but some supporters promise to assist in party affairs. News highlights neurologist Zheng Chenyu pointed out that as we age, the human body will experience inflammatory aging, which can easily lead to cardiovascular, dementia, musculoskeletal and other diseases. Harvard research shows that cocoa flavonols have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and brain function, and daily intake can reduce inflammatory markers by 8.4% and the risk of cardiovascular death by 27%. It is recommended to eat 2-3 small slices of dark chocolate or drink high-concentration cocoa powder every day, and combine it with a diverse and balanced diet such as berries, vegetables, and nuts. News highlights recently, there have been reports of stalls being extorted by gangs for protection fees and stalls smashed at Shilin Night Market, but the investigation results of the Shilin branch show that since 2023, only 4 disputes between stalls have been accepted, all due to disputes over stalls or displays, and there have been no cases of gang involvement or violent smashing of stalls. The police pointed out that most of the rumors from the outside world are misunderstood, emphasizing the continuous strengthening of patrols to ensure the safety of the night market, and called on vendors to report threats or illegal acts. News highlights at 3:20 a.m. today, 22nd, a magnitude 4.8 shallow earthquake occurred in Xinyi Township, Nantou, with a maximum seismic intensity of 3, affecting 14 counties and cities. The epicenter is about 31.5 kilometers away from the Nantou County government and has a depth of 28.1 kilometers. Many people woke up in their sleep, and even suspected of hearing the sound of the ground, because yesterday coincided with the 26th anniversary of the 921 earthquake, and the sense of panic was even stronger. News highlights the typhoon may bring disasters and heavy rains, and doctors remind that in addition to typhoon prevention, we should pay more attention to hygiene and health. Do not let rainwater get into your eyes when going out and avoid rubbing your eyes to avoid acute conjunctivitis. Ensure that food and drink are clean to prevent gastroenteritis. After the typhoon, it is necessary to remove stagnant water, prevent dengue fever and pay attention to epidemic prevention to reduce the threat of disease. News highlights experiments by the Building Research Institute of the Ministry of the Interior have confirmed that taping glass windows on typhoon days cannot improve wind resistance, but is more prone to rupture due to stress concentration. Untapped glass can withstand a strong typhoon of level 17. Experts suggest that sturdy window frames and tempered glass that meet national standards, or add explosion-proof film, are effective protective measures. News highlights President Lai Ching-te said in Meili that 2026 will be the year of the least tax payment, with an annual income of less than 62 yuan or specific family conditions exempt from taxes, and about 4 to 50% of the Chinese people can benefit, and taxes are mainly borne by the high-income 1%. He emphasized that economic growth will lead to an increase in tax revenue, which will be used for education, long-term care, and social welfare, and continue to promote national defense and industrial development. News highlights Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway confirmed that it has fully liquidated its bid holdings in the first quarter of this year. Since the company's investment in 2008, the company's stock price has soared more than 40 times, but with China's overcapacity, fierce competition for price cuts, and high tariffs on CRRC in Europe and the United States, the market environment has deteriorated, bids profits have declined and its stock price has plummeted. Analysts believe that these factors are important reasons for Berkshire's exit. News highlights U.S. President Trump signed an executive order to raise the H-1B visa application fee to $10, which is 100 times the current rate, causing panic in the technology industry and foreign workers. The White House clarified that this fee only applies to first-time applications, does not affect existing holders and renewers, and can be waived if it is in the national interest. The industry is worried that the new regulations may severely damage the U.S. technology industry, which relies on foreign talent. News highlights in addition to policy guidance, the government has also invested resources to promote public urban renewal and amend the law to lower the threshold and increase incentives to accelerate the reconstruction of dangerous buildings. Taipei City uses the 8 arrows of the metropolitan government to simplify the process and increase participation. New Taipei City focuses on dangerous buildings such as sea sand houses, providing volume incentives and full counseling. Darwin actively amended the law, set up a housing center, promoted disaster prevention and public applications, and gradually improved the dilemma of old house reconstruction. News highlights outdoor brand Arc'teryx and artist Cai Kuokyong set off fireworks in the Himalayas, causing serious environmental controversy. Although it claims to use environmentally friendly materials and clean up residues, it has not been able to calm public opinion, and the local government has launched an investigation. Arc'teryx's transformation into an outdoor luxury product in recent years has led to the loss of brand intentions and sustainability doubts, coupled with the controversy over Gore-Tex's PFAS content, making it in a dilemma between business expansion and environmental responsibility. News highlights this year's housing market 928 projects were only 7,106 billion yuan, the largest decline in history, a year-on-year decrease of nearly 30%, and pre-sales in existing housing transactions were in a downturn. The central bank has not relaxed credit controls, and buying gas has frozen, and builders have delayed the case and waited and watched. However, the press release hints that there may be green channels for groups such as self-use housing, urban and more dangerous elderly and social housing. Experts expect the housing market to continue to shrink, and the market may have to wait for next year's 329 period to see a turnaround. News highlights the Beijing city government announced that the Taipei-Shanghai Twin Cities Forum originally scheduled to be held in September has been postponed, and due to the need for more thorough preparation and review, the time will be redetermined when conditions are met. He emphasized that when cross-strait relations are tense, exchanges should be more steady and put the interests of citizens first. News highlights mainland actress Sun Fifei recently blew herself up and her ex-husband Shi Hong at Lenovo and was accused of killing her ex-father-in-law. She clarified that she had a good relationship with her ex-father-in-law and had personally taken care of and arranged medical treatment for him, but the accusations were completely untrue, emphasizing that she did not covet property, was saddened by the death of her ex-father-in-law, and criticized her ex-husband's unfair behavior. News highlights Huang Jiaqian has recently been busy with the stage play Star Nursing Home 2.0, and her rosy complexion was accused of rejuvenating her appearance, which caused speculation from the outside world that there was a new peach blossom, but she clarified that she is currently single. A few days ago, I went to a dessert shop, walked, and shopped in Ximending with two female friends, enjoying a leisurely afternoon, with a happy expression and a graceful posture, showing a relaxed and comfortable good complexion. News highlights mainland actor Yu Hao fell to his death on the 11th, triggering online conspiracy theories. Actress Song Yiren was rumored to be suspected of being at the scene, so Lin Beiheng cancelled IG's attention to Song Yiren. Netizens hotly discussed their support for Lin Beiheng, and the Beijing Chaoyang Public Security issued a notice on the evening of the 21st, which ruled out suspicion of a criminal case after investigation and confirmed that it was an accidental fall. News highlights artist Wang Boja broke up with Xie Xinying, who has been dating for about 4 years, and today, 21st, he had a dinner with his friends Yang Minggui and Zhang Xiaochuan to celebrate his birthday. News highlights in recent years, many colleges and universities have adopted a 16-week semester system to extend the winter and summer vacations. In the 114th academic year, 8 schools including National Taiwan University and National Taiwan Normal University had a winter vacation of 65 days, and 4 schools including Chongqing University and Sun Yat-sen University also had 58 days, setting a new record long. The Ministry of Education pointed out that this system allows students to have more rest and independent learning time, while promoting cross-domain learning and ability development. News highlights Typhoon Huajia struck, the wind and wave height continued to intensify, and the transportation ship operator from Pingtung Donggang to Xiaoliuqiu announced that it would suspend sailing on the 23rd and 24th, and the last ship departed at noon on the 22nd. As a result, some passengers ended their trip early and returned to the island, while others were disappointed that they could not engage in water sports due to the typhoon. The shipping company said that although the wind was only level 3 on the morning of the 22nd and the wave height was about 1.5 to 2 meters, it was still necessary to prepare for typhoons, so it ended early. At the same time, the boat also actively transports people's livelihood materials such as vegetables and fruits to ensure the supply of Xiaoliuqiu. News highlights yesterday, 21st, evening, an ambulance worker was attacked in Section 3 of Zhongxing Road, Xindian, New Taipei City. A 28-year-old man surnamed Zhong was lying in an alley, injured and unconscious, and originally promised to go to the ambulance for medical treatment, but his emotions were out of control. After the ambulance staff arrived at the scene, the man pushed down the 26-year-old ambulance surnamed Zheng, causing bruises on his head, chest, hands, and knees. After the police arrived at the scene, they forcibly sent the man to the hospital. The injured ambulance staff will file an injury complaint after completing the injury examination, and the case will be sent to the Taipei District Prosecutor's Office for investigation. News highlights a 34-year-old man in Houston, USA, Jesse, suddenly fainted while dining at a steakhouse, but was mistaken for a homeless person by the clerk and dragged outside the store to abandon it. The family criticized that if rescued in time, it might have been able to save his life, and the incident caused controversy over the restaurant's mishandling, and the cause of death is still to be clarified. News highlights yesterday, 21st, the Beijing Chaoyang Public Security Bureau issued a police report on the incident of Chinese actor Yu Hazi's fall from a building, mainly emphasizing that 3 people who spread rumors have been arrested and legal measures have been taken, and pointed out that the investigation has ruled out suspicion of a criminal case, and the family has no objection. However, netizens generally questioned that the content of the report was too sloppy, believing that the focus was on cleaning the net to rectify online rumors, rather than the details of the incident or the cause of death. News highlights: after 3 months of rehabilitation and traditional Chinese medicine recuperation, her voice recovered 70% or 80%, and she returned to singing on stage and cherished her singing voice even more. Experts remind that vocal cord nodules require early detection, proper maintenance, and speech therapy to avoid recurrence. News highlights: an 85-year-old Japanese man sought medical attention due to low albumin, and the doctor recommended eating 5 eggs a day, and after 4 months, the albumin rose from 3.6 to 4.5 g/dl, and his mental complexion improved significantly. Doctors point out that eggs are a high-quality source of protein that can help maintain health for middle-aged and elderly people, but the intake should still be adjusted according to individual conditions. News highlights: a 24-year-old woman in Zizi, New Taipei City suddenly fell asleep while dining at a breakfast shop and couldn't wake up. After the video was exposed, the policewoman's eye-catching appearance unexpectedly became the focus, causing heated discussions among netizens. News highlights: strong typhoon Burj Gaza affected 11 counties and cities including Qingdao in the north, and the Meteorological Administration issued a special report on heavy rain and heavy rain. Lin Yuhua, deputy mayor of Taipei City, said that although it is listed as a yellow light for strong winds, the wind and rain have intensified in the afternoon, and the construction site has been fully strengthened. News highlights: Professor Shi Zhaowei of Xianzhang University advocated refusing to receive a general cash of 1 yuan, and suggested donating it to the National Life Extension Fund, which sparked discussion. The results of the online poll show that 96% of the people still say they will receive it, of which 61% will be used for daily expenses, about 10% will deposit or invest, and only 1.1% will donate.